Very kind. Early in the morning. Are we all awake? Yeah, good. Good. We have work to do. We have much work to do. So thanks for having to Match Lab. Thanks to Mercy Slap. Thanks to CPAC. It's a great pleasure to be here again. Thanks to you out there in the audience. Thanks for being my pal. I appreciate that too. I want to say a bunch of things. As you know, I was an economic advisor to President Trump. I thought my former boss did a pretty good job last night. And I do want to say it was a job of a lifetime. It was a great honor to serve. 3 years, I got out of the White House, subpoena-free, and I got a new job with Fox Business. So I hope you watch our show. It's called Kudlow. Here's the thing. We have adopted a mantra, I have adopted a mantra for the show, but for everything. And it's called Save America. That is what I want to talk to you about today. Save America. In 1 year, Joe Biden has taken an excellent economy and a strong border and a strong world national security position and energy independence, and he has run it into the ground in a year. In a year. It's not an easy thing to do, but he's done it in a year, and it is remarkable. Now look, just a word about Ukraine and Putin. I'm not going to go into the military or the diplomatic side. But I just want to say one thing, because it's an energy story. It's a very important energy story. To quote John McCain, the late John McCain, Senator McCain is a friend of mine, Russia is an old gas station masquerading as a legitimate country. That's all it is. It's an old gas station. All they do is produce oil and gas. When prices go up, Putin makes money, and he becomes, an adventurist. The Soviet Empire, the Tsarist Empire, rip apart NATO. When oil prices go down, you don't hear from them. Just a little bit of history. In 2008, oil prices got to $150 a barrel, $150. Putin used those profits and took over Georgia. Okay? He just did it, and nobody stopped him. Then oil prices simmered down for a while, but in 2014, oil prices got back to $100 a barrel, and Putin used his profits and took over Crimea. And nobody did a thing about it. Then comes the fracking revolution, greatest industry in the world, fracking, horizontal drilling, oil and gas production, energy independence under President Trump, who just said to the frackers, just take a rip at the ball, just do what you can. Get us the most energy at the cheapest prices, and they did. You didn't hear from Putin. There was no Putin. Then, in the last year, the price of oil goes up from more or less $40, $50 a barrel back to $100 a barrel, and Putin is back. The guy made $85 billion in profits because of the wet blanket that Biden threw over our whole fossil fuel industry. Price went to $100, and Putin made about $85 billion, and now look what he's doing in Ukraine. And if it stays high or goes higher, he will stop at Ukraine. He will go into Lithuania. That is his next stop. He wants to tear NATO into two. He wants to tear the European Union. Most of all, he wants to tear down the United States. And we can't let him do that. We can't let him do that. Now, I could do a whole riff. I'll give you a whole riff about the economics of sanctions and the SWIFT. The SWIFT system is is good, it's okay, but it's an information system, it's not a payment system. We just have, you got to put sanctions on all the Russian banks, including the energy banks, and then we will set up secondary sanctions, and that will stop their payment system. You have to set up sanctions on the central bank. SWIFT is not money, SWIFT is not payments, it's information. It's the old telex system. Now we're getting around to it, I guess, I don't know. But we're going to have to clamp down on the energy banks and all the banks. But really, if Joe Biden had foresight and understanding at his news conference on Thursday, he would have said to our energy industry, open the spigots, open the spigots. Get up to 13 million barrels a day and 14 million barrels a day and 15 million barrels a day and get our LNG export industry rolling. We can take up this. We have so much spare capacity. We don't, Europe doesn't need, when I was in office with O'Brien and Mnuchin, you heard from O'Brien, my dear friend, we sold LNG exports to Europe. And they gobbled it up. Germany was too dumb to do it. But the old Eastern European countries were smart to do it. They got it. I said, we're going to do it for you because we make the cleanest LNG, the cleanest and the cheapest, frankly. But we don't want you to have to rely on Russia because Russia is not your friend. It is not your friend. Europe is now once again learning Russia is not your friend. That's what we begged them to do. Some did, most did not. Now they're paying for it. I'm just saying this. Sanctions are fine, but we have to produce. We have to drill. You've got this woman, Jennifer Granholm, is the energy secretary. She's wholly owned by the United Auto Workers. She knows nothing about energy. She is sitting on 6 LNG export applications right now, sitting on them, and she will not put them through. 4 of them would go right to Europe. It's exactly the wrong signal. You have this Interior Department is frozen all leases, sales, and drilling projects on federal lands. Frozen, everything, over a battle about something called the social cost of carbon, which is utter nonsense. So Biden could have said, but let me rephrase that. Trump would have said Thursday, I am ordering my energy secretary to accept and authorize these LNG export applications. I am ordering my interior secretary to open up all federal lands to drilling and production. And I will encourage our great fossil fuel industry to open the spigots, make as much money as you can, hire as many workers as you will, pay them high wages as you must. And that's how we will defeat Putin and Russia. That's what Trump would have done. That's what Trump would have done. So I'm just saying, Biden, gets up there and he says, oh, I don't want the oil and gas companies to make excess profits. And I pulled my hair out. I said, no, wrong message. Now, let me move on. For many, many months on our program, we talked about Save America, Kill the Bill. Save America, kill the bill. And actually, much to my surprise, with the help of a lot of people, including House and Senate members and a grand coalition, we killed the bill. Okay? We killed the bill. Maybe not forever. We didn't kill all the bills. There are other bills coming, but we'll try to kill those bills too. I want to say kill the bill, and then I want to say Save America, kill inflation. And the two are very closely related. It is the federal spending which is deficit spending, and the Federal Reserve buys the debt and produces an outrageous volume of new money supply that is causing this inflation, which is 7.5% consumer prices, 10% wholesale prices, 11% import prices, and shows no sign. It's not going to go away. We're going to have this for quite some time. So, kill the bill, kill all the bills, and kill inflation while you're at it. Save America, end the fossil fuel jihad. Save America, end the fossil fuel jihad. Save America, close the border. Catch and deport, remain in Mexico, finish the wall. This is not hard. This is not hard. Stop the sex trafficking, stop the drug trafficking, stop the criminalization, stop landing illegals in airports around the country in the dead of night where even the local authorities don't know. Stop it. All right, this is not hard. I worked for a guy, it was about a year and a half ago, so did Mercy, so did some others in this room. I worked for a guy who was doing that. Those policies must be repeated, reinstituted. This is not hard. This is not hard. Save America. Let the parents run the schools. Save America. Stop teaching racially divisive critical race theory. Stop teaching woke in the schools. Parents are not domestic terrorists. Parents are parents. Parents are parents. Bless the parents. Support the parents. That's how we will save America. Save America. Back the cops. Back the cops. Democrats have become the party that hates cops. They want to defund the police. In New York, we have no bail, no jail. Homicide rates are exploding around the country. We need more cops, smarter cops, more money, better district attorneys. We need some good common sense, you know. You know, safety and security is in some sense, you know, I'm an old Reagan Laffer supply sider. It's like a tax cut. If you have an outbreak of crime like we've had across the country, all these big cities, record homicide rates, all run by Democrat mayors and Democrat governors. It's really too bad. So what does that do? A, you move out. Or if you're there, you don't go outside. Or if your business got closed because of a riot where nobody was busted, you won't reopen the business. Or if you move there, you won't start a new business. In other words, high crime is like a tax increase. It stops economic development. Low crime and safety and security is like a tax cut. It promotes economic development. Save America. Back the cops. Save America. End the mandates. Save America. Help the truck drivers. Help the Freedom Convoy. Do you know 75%, roughly 75% of the goods transported throughout the American economy are transported by trucks. Trucks. Thank you. Smart over there. Very smart. High marks. 75%, that's a big number. More than airplanes, more than railroads. Trucks. So cut them some slack. Cut them some slack. And by the way, we're sick of the mandates anyway because the science turns out they were all wrong in the first place. You know, it's sort of, I see this, we were talking with Matt and Mercy on the air on Friday night. The truckers and the parents and the oil and gas people and people who want to work but can't work because of all these crazy rules and mandates. I think there's a populist revolt going on in America. And I think that populist revolt is going to help save America, okay? It reminds me a bit, back in 2009, of the Tea Party revolt. It reminds me. And I'm going to kind of put them together. And it's a very good thing, and I think that revolt is going to save America. Save America, let's make the Trump tax cuts permanent. Save America. The lowest unemployment rates in 50 years, A, for the whole country, B, for blacks, C, for Hispanics, D, for Asians, E, for women. The tax cuts paid for themselves. We had a tremendous increase in average family incomes. Real wages shot up for the best in 20 years. Revenues came pouring in. The economy was booming. The inflation rate at the end was 1.5%. We cut taxes and inflation stayed down because more people were working. And we slashed regulations across the board. We cut red tape for small businesses, for the oil people, the oil and gas people. We cut red tape. Now, in 1 year, Joe Biden has increased federal regulations by $205 billion worth in 1 year. That's not an easy thing to do. I ran National Economic Council. A lot of that stuff came up through my $200 billion worth of regulations in 1 year. Wow. Wow. That's because they can't get anything through in legislative, and the public hates their agenda, so they're doing it in the dead of night. $200 billion worth of regulation across the board. Across the board. Energy, banking, healthcare, trucking, you name it, they're regulating it. This is, to coin my friend Steve Forbes, to recoin Steve Forbes, this is modern socialism. Modern socialism. This is, you don't take over the factories, you don't actually take over the means of production like the 1930s. You use the regulatory state to take over the entire economy, to control the economy. That's what modern socialism. And Newt Gingrich is exactly right. This is big government socialism. That's what Biden is selling. That is not save America, that's kill America. But I want to save America and kill the bill. One guy who's not saving America right now is Joe Biden. Just a word. I've been in and out of politics for a very long time. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I'm astonished at the polls, okay? I'm not a poll-driven guy. I tend to be more analytic and numbers-driven, but these polls, liberal polls, conservative polls, the country is not buying what Mr. Biden is selling. The country does not want a state-run economy. The country rejects a radical left-wing agenda. The country does not want critical race theory. The country does not believe America is bad. Okay, the country believes America is good. And I want to end on this point. These far-left people, with their climate changes to stop the economy, racial accusations, quotas, race quotas, gender quotas, skin quotas, in schools, out of schools, in businesses, out of business, let criminals free, raise taxes, regulate the economy, run the economy. Don't give the fossil fuel people any loans, bank loans. The country is rejecting this. Every poll shows the country is rejecting this left-wing, radical, big government socialist agenda. The country is rejecting it. It's a very important point. If Biden's polls are in the 60s, I'd be worried. Biden polls are in the 30s, and he's a stock looking for a bottom. That makes me happy. You know, I'm the quintessential optimist, probably to a fault, but I love America. This country's been great to me. It's been wonderful to me. This country has given me opportunities that I never dreamed were possible. This is such a great country that in my own private life, I slipped and fell and got back up again, and the country let me go on. I wind up in the White House at the job of a lifetime with President Trump virtually every day and virtually every policy with some of the smartest people I know, many of whom are in this room. It's the greatest opportunity of my life. That's why I love America. I love America. The radical left, the socialist left, the racist left, they do not love America. They do not. And I say so outwardly. But we will win this. The polls are showing it. The mood is showing it. We did beat the bill. We did kill the bill. We will kill inflation. We will stop the tax hikes. We will reverse the regulatory state. We will eventually go back to producing oil and gas, doing what we do best. We will preserve families. We will preserve parents. We will preserve the cops. We will save America. The cavalry is coming. The cavalry is coming. And we will save America. Thank you.